Welcome to the Granite Zero podcast, ladies and gentlemen, troops. What I was going to do today was I was going to have a guest on, but unfortunately no one's managed to get back to me. Is what it is. Little Brown was also supposed to be joining me today, but again, unfortunately, it's his birthday. Well, not unfortunately his birthday, but happy birthday, Little Brown, 37 today. But he's had a fair bit to drink already. So, put it this way, he couldn't hear me speak. And then he disappeared and has gone for a nap. So, that is what it is. But, happy birthday, Little Brown. I'll get you back on again soon, obviously, because you are the producer and I is the talent, as it were. Air of the dog for me today. I got absolutely pissed out of my head last night. I was dancing in the living room to fucking the music channels, and I was drinking cherry gin and cream soda. Is what it is. Got absolutely fucking smashed. Didn't go to bed until like 2 o'clock. That never happens because I'm old man. 33 years old man, goes to bed early. But I've gone back to the old format today. So this could go horribly wrong, or it could be fucking awesome. Who fucking knows? So I'm streaming live on Instagram as we speak. I'm also recording this onto the YouTube channel as well, so you can catch up with Tommo in the shedio talking shit to himself. But the one thing I really wanted to talk about today was I watched the documentary last night on the ultra white collar boxing, and I can talk from first-hand experience on this because I've done one. See? And I was actually successful in my fight, although the bloke I had was about 20 kilos heavier than me, which is saying something because absolute fucking man beast. He was about 20 kilos heavier than me. I went into a fight camp, as it were. So I was cutting weight. I was training 2-3 times a day, and I was really getting into it. Can you hear the fucking wind, by the way? Chill out, man. The guy I was fighting had a fucking burger the night of the fight, as in half an hour before we were about to fight. Chomping on the old fucking burgers he was, kid. You know what I mean? So there's one of us that's taking it seriously and the other one who thinks it's a fucking jolly. At the end of the day, it's not a tickling contest. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fucking hit him in the face. That's what I'm going to do. And there was no way I was going down in front of the missus and my family. No way, Jose. But one thing really stood out in my mind when I was going through it was they never asked how much experience anyone had. Well, they did. That's a bit of a understatement. So they asked once, has anyone boxed before? That was it. There was no... Fucking hell, you could lie about that. Has anyone boxed before? Nah. You know, so there was bound to be people out there that have boxed before. Myself, I used to train with the Air Force. I spoke about this before on my show. I was going to go and do the Wakefield's boxing thing, but unfortunately my missus had a bit of a mishap with a miscarriage, so I had to go and deal with the missus, so I never got to finish fighting at Wakefield's. I then ended up going into another half camp and fighting a bloke out of the Olympic gym in Manchester in a fight in Bolton, and unfortunately for me, I got knocked out. And I can hold my hands up and say, yeah, I got fucking filled in that fight because I did. But yeah, so I had experience going through the training camp of Wakefields, training again twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I know the likes of Scotty B were fought there, Willow, Chrissy Dunn, etc., etc. So they know what it's like going through these fight camps. Going into white collar, it was though you could tell the experience levels through these different people, and the trainer to student ratio was ridiculous. Really, was really fucking ridiculous. So luckily for us at the Gillingham one, we did have a number of trainers / helpers, as it were, but I believe there's only a couple of them that would have got the badges in boxing. Yeah, a lot of them have done professional fights, etc., but that doesn't mean that you are then a coach. You haven't got the badges. And looking around, you could see that there was a lot that were a better level of boxing than others, and when you put that together, that is disastrous, or it can be. The bloke I fought, and I don't mean to be big-headed, he didn't have the same level of boxing skills as what I did, which you could see if you go onto the Ultra White Collar Boxing Gillingham 2017. You can watch the video. Yeah, he caught me with a few decent shots, but at the end of the day, he was the one that ended up on the canvas and had the towel thrown in. And there was another lad that was potentially fighting for the boxing gym that we were training in, and he was going to do a few pro fights, possibly a couple of amateur fights with this camp, but then they put him against a complete novice, and he was, well, you could see him in the ring, he was shit scared. And you can look that one up as well. If you look at the 2017 Gillingham White Collar Boxing, you can see some of these fights, and when you look back at it, you're like, fucking hell. They're huge mismatches, like out of this world when you think about it, especially in a contest where you're going out to punch someone in the face. That's what you're doing. You're going to punch someone in the face, and you're trying to hurt them. You are. It might be for charity, but you're still boxing and you're still trying to hurt someone at the end of the day. So, but when you first get there, you get caught up in the pantomime of it all, the expectations, etc., etc. So when you get there, you're just excited to get training. In your head, you've got 8 weeks of a good free workout, where you're training twice a week with them for these 8 weeks. If you want to do extra, you can do extra, but you get given these sessions 2 a week for the 8 weeks, and you get sort of caught up in it all. You train with different training partners. You're holding the pads for people. Luckily for me, I'm used to holding pads, so I know how to hold pads for people. But when you're training, sometimes you get paired with a bloke that doesn't have a fucking Scooby-Doo with what he's doing, so you're not getting the full benefits of these training sessions, which in turn will knock your confidence for one, and it will set you back. And you can really see it, like on a few times. Like the bloke that I fought, I'm pretty sure he missed 4 or 5 sessions. So that's down to him. You know, if he wants to miss these sessions, then, like, I missed 2 because of work at the time, but I was putting in the hours because I didn't want to, 1, make a fool of myself on the thing, and 2, I wanted to raise as much money as I could for the charity, which is what you are signing up for. You're signing up to perform for cancer research, or so you believe. But when you look back on the documentary that was on last night, it's a real eye opener. A real eye opener. Like you fill out a medical form, but you don't have a medical check. You could lie on that. Yeah, that's up to you, sure, but you could lie on it. The weight checks as well. All we did was stand on a scale. I think it was twice I did, and then they pay you up. So I was paired up with this fucking gorilla who was a good 2, 3, possibly 4, 5 inches taller than me, and a lot fatter. And that's saying something because I'm quite rotund. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight when I was training it. I went down from 92 kilos to 80.5, I believe. So I lost a fair bit of weight in those 8 weeks. I could have lost more. But when I discovered I was paired with this fucking bloke with man boobs, I had to put on a little bit just so I could withstand if I got punched in the face. But, and I think that they oversaturate it as well. So you do your 8 weeks, and then there's a couple of week period where it's chilled, and then there's another 8-week training camp for somebody else. They keep going through and through and through, and you think that your money is going towards cancer research, which is raised, I don't know, we'll say for example 21 million. Well played. To be fair, fair play. But if you think about it, it's all over the UK. You've got Manchester, Leeds, Birmingham, London, Kent. You've even got 2 in Kent. You've got Ashford and Gillingham, and I believe in London there's loads. So you're telling me they've only made 21 million? Like, I raised like 3.5 grand on my own. So where's the... Obviously, the money's got to go to the trainers as well, but it's mad, mate. It's mad. It's oversaturated. There's not enough trainers to pupil ratio. They should have a limit. Yeah, I understand that they want to get as many in. But if you think about it, I think there was about 10 fights on my half of the arena. So that's 10 fights. So that's 20 fighters. There might have even been more. It's not, you know, that's off the top of my head. But on the other side, there was another ring, which came from the Ashford lot. So there's even more. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. It's like, we'll just throw and keep doing it and keep doing it. And if, say, for example, someone gets ill on the night or 2 nights before and they can't get a replacement, they'll phone up a ringer. Or a journeyman, as they call it in boxing. And I'll get a bloke that's had, like, God knows how many fights. And let him fight against an amateur. What? Why? It's bad, mate. It's terrible. You can't do that to these amateur fighters because putting him up against a journeyman, it's not fair. You could get really, really fucking hurt. And there's a difference between having no fights and wanting to do it as a keep fit or something that I've always wanted to do, to someone who's done it for most of their life. Like, for me, I was quite lucky because I love fight sports. I love boxing. I love MMA. You know, hence why I've had so many different fighters on the show. But I sparred quite a bit with the Air Force. I also had a large training camp twice. Well, say twice. One large, one quite small. But then I also had the 8 weeks of this training camp, and fucking hell, that was my cat, little fucker. But I like to think I'm reasonably experienced in that sort of thing. But there was still other people that were better, and like I said a minute ago, luckily for me, I knocked him out in the 2nd round. But other people had to fight and get humiliated in front of their families against these people. And a lot of them, a lot of the journeymen, or the ringers as I call them, were in the female category, because there's not many females that want to get punched in the face. So these ladies have signed up to do these fights and then get paired with someone who's been fighting for ages. They have to really look into how they're doing these white collar events, because there's obviously loads of different ones. There's even the MMA one. I can't really speak much about that. I've not done it. I haven't done any research on it, but it's just too many white collar events going on in a short space of time, and like I said, too many students, trainees, whatever you want to call them, to trainer ratio. Like, you're expecting there to get some proper one-on-one boxing training, but in theory you're taking a boxing class or a boxercise. They're getting you to shadow box when a lot of people don't know what they're doing when they're shadow boxing. They're teaching you these combinations and how to counter combinations without learning the basic 1-2s, 3-4s to start with. The 1-2, parry, slip, duck, whatever. There's so many things that you need to build up to before you can start throwing these combinations in and what have you. I know what you're thinking. It's not too early for a whiskey, by the way. It's fine. But yeah, this is a first for the Granite Zero podcast, doing a live stream onto Instagram as I'm talking, and I'm also recording at the same time as onto YouTube. If I had another device, I'd probably record that and upload it as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the audio, put it onto the podcast. But yeah, so back to what's been going on in the world. Obviously, we're in a crazy fucking time. Crazy. Being put in this lockdown and being told it's another 3 weeks. But obviously, that is for a reason. We're not just being told, right, you've got to do it because, you know, if we all started listening, and I know for the majority we are listening and we're doing what we are told. We are either going out for fizz, or we're going to the shop, or we're going to work. That's it. But then you get fucking morons, and when I say morons, I mean cunts, that are just plain and simply think they know better. So what they do is, they'll go out with their mates. They'll go out on a bike ride with their mates, and they'll stop off and have a chat and what have you. But you got to think, what are you fucking doing, you idiot? At some point, I want to be able to go and see my fucking family. Like today is my brother's birthday. I should have been travelling to Hereford, the mighty Hereford, on Friday to have a long weekend with my brother, getting absolutely sloshed, probably on rum, sure, or a bit of whiskey, who knows. But instead, I'm in a lockdown and I have to give him a fucking FaceTime and say, happy birthday, mate. Sorry, once again, I can't be with you. A bit like when I was in Afghan for your 30th. Cheers. He's 37 now, so if anything, he's probably forgotten, because old. Really fucking old. But like the majority of the country, we want to get this done so that we can get back to normality. I'm lucky in the fact that I've still got a routine. I still got to go to work. I'm a key worker. But there's a lot that aren't. For example, my missus is, she's a hairdresser, so she's got to wait until June before we get the money that the government are giving her to go into our bank. So we're solely relying on my pittance of a wage. So if any sponsors are out there, fucking hell, help a brother out. Joking, but not really. But yeah, there are so many people that think they know better than the doctors, nurses, and medical experts. I had to kick some people out of the tennis courts that were playing tennis. Obviously, they're in there playing tennis. Before you start making snidey comments like, what do you think they're playing? Fucking hockey? Obviously, they were playing tennis. But the rules say, don't play tennis. Don't go to the park. Do you know what I mean? You fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. He could not know my name. Good movie, that. Snatch. Good old Boris. He's back, though, isn't he? But yeah, so I had to kick them out. It's like, they're locked, mate. They're locked with a sign that says, do not enter, because the government said, no. But no, you're going to climb over and be a fucking cardboard cutout cunt and ruin everything for the rest of us. Annoying. But there's loads of little things that piss me off. You know, people going around to see their families and that. Right, I get it. You miss your family. But can you not just not do that? Because you might have gone to the shop, picked it up, then gone to see your nan. Now she's got it. Now she's dead. And that's your fault. For being a fucking total fucking tit-faced McGee. But let's hope that this fucking does one soon as, because it's licking me out a little bit, not going to lie. And plus, I want my football match to go ahead in July. No, July 12th. Against fucking Spurs legends. Which is a bold statement, because does Spurs have any legends? Who knows? I don't think so. But at the moment, that is going ahead. And I would like that to go ahead. So we can raise our money for Rock to Recovery in mind. And that sort of could be a little segue here into a little topic. Like, everyone's saying you've got to stay physically healthy, physically fit during this this period of lockdown. What you cannot, and I cannot emphasize this enough, you cannot stop thinking about your own mental health, because you will start worrying, you'll start stressing over things that are out of your control. And we cannot do that. If you can't control it, don't stress about it. That is a huge thing, I think. And for me, living with what I have, and also living with Mrs. Thompson, who is OCD up the yin-yang, is a clean freak, bacteria freak, all that sort of thing. And she's also panics about money, etc., 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 etc. Those added stresses, and then on top of that, having to do the kids' schoolwork with them. On top of that, your husband's got to go to work where he could catch shit, this horrible thing, and bring it home, and then everybody's ill. You know, what we've got to try and realise is take that, as I like to call it, and I learned it from my time in the military. Take that condor moment. If you smoke, have a quick fag. Take a breather, take a breath, reevaluate and re-engage what you want to do. What can you do in your own head that you can control? Sort that out. Don't go fucking bonkers because Boris the Bullet Dodger has put us on a lockdown. You can't control that. That's out of your control. You can't go up and go, can I have the number for Boris? Oh, Boris, mate, I need to go out. I need to go out and do something because this ain't working, pal. This ain't working, mate. Can't do it. This is ridiculous. I've had enough. And he's just gonna go, Hey, dickhead. Fuck off, yes. And then put the phone down. But, you know, we got to think that it could all be worse. We could be on like a full fucking lockdown where they're like, no, you do not leave your fucking house. If you do, you'll get arrested. That would be mental. And we're lucky in a way that we're not at that stage. We do have a little bit of leeway where it is, you can go out and do your hour run, which I'll come back to in a minute. You can go out and do your hour. You can go out and do your 60-minute run. Why does my face work? I don't know. Go out and do your fizz. Go out on your bike. Go out on your own. You don't need to go out with your fucking mate down the road. No. Phone him up and go, absolutely not, mate. I am not coming out with you. Why? Because fucking Boris, the Blade, has told me not to. Right? So, do that. Do your fizz. Come home. Speak to your missus, your kids, whatever. Do what you got to do to fix your mind right. Find something. Here's one for you. Find something that you can do that is creative, that will help you pass this time of boredom. For example, I went upstairs yesterday and my eldest Jess was lying on the floor, rolling around, being a pain in the ass, like she's a teenager, but she's not, she's 8. And she's like, I'm bored, I've got nothing to do. Hey, be creative. Write down some ideas what you would like to do. For example, you really love YouTube. Write down what you want to do on YouTube. Doesn't mean you're going to get a channel though. That's for daddy. But write down what you want to do. Get some ideas. Get some fucking original ideas. Don't go copying Ruby fucking Rube or whoever the fuck. Copying their ideas. No, don't do that. Do your own ideas. Write your thoughts down on some paper. Write it on your tablet. I was starting to stress today. What was I stressing about? I know. I'll quickly type that in. I won't. Write some memoirs. If you're like me and you've served in 3 war zones, alley bastard. Not really. I'm not really. Not really. Just a crow. I did a tour diary. In fact, I got 3 tour diaries. And I was thinking about turning them into some sort of book, a memoir, that I could actually rewrite and make it sound better, be a bit more wordy, which is difficult when you're dyslexic, but those sorts of things. Learn a new skill. Like me, I struggle. I've got like absolute disabled hands. So I can't. Learning the guitar, for example, I'm pretty shit at. But I could give it a go if I was that bored. You know, there's things out there that you can do. Learn to draw. Learn calligraphy. Anyone on Instagram that knows that word properly? I think it's calligraphy. Fancy writing. Learn that. You know, read books. I've got a few books up there that are pretty good. I've got Brothers in Arms by Garrett Jones. Fantastic book. I've got Broken by War by Anthony Locke. Another one. Mark Billingham, who's Billy off SAS Who Dares Wins. Another one. Brilliant book. Ollie Orton. SAS Who Dares Wins. I think it's Ollie. Ollie from SAS Who Dares Wins. Another good book. Tyson Fury's book. Brilliant. Read books. Or get an audio book. Listen to podcasts. I heard a Granite Zero podcast. It's really good. Check that out. You know, there's loads of things that you can do that you can help with this isolation. So do one of these. Do a live feed. Get people in chatting to you. Whatever. Pardon me. But there's one thing I'm going to pick up on, and I've noticed it a few times. These 5Ks that everyone's doing. Fucking hell, they're doing them quick, aren't they? Hey, guess what? Hey, guess what? If you press pause, yeah, and you've stopped running, that doesn't count. It doesn't count. So stop cheating. Stop cheating the clock. Stop cheating everything. All right? Because we all know you press pause on your little fucking fancy watch. It's not a competition. Just go out and do your fucking run. Do your run. Who cares how quick you've done it? You know? You could be really Ali, put some weight on and do a 5 mile of death. But, you know, only the elite of the elite can do the 5 mile of death. So, yeah, not a lot of people can do that. But anyway, a big shout out though to Little Brown, my big brother, who went off and took his nap a good hour ago after he told me he was going to do the podcast at 2. Don't worry, I'll definitely do it. Okay, turn him on, pissed out his face. Well played. It's your birthday, 37. Shouldn't really be celebrating 37 because it's one of those birthdays, isn't it? It's like, whatever. But happy birthday to you, Little Brown. My main man, Veteran Trees. Big shout out to that guy because he has fucking designed some fantastic bit of tree art with the original Granite Zero logo on it, and it is absolutely amazing. If and when the Granite Zero versus Spurs Legend game happens, we will be auctioning that off. So make sure if you want an original piece of amazing art, get this piece, because not only was it supporting the podcast, it's also supporting another veteran cause, which we're all about. We're all about it. But yeah, so last night, like I said, I got a bit fucking off my face. So I was drinking cherry gin and cream soda. Now the cream soda was bought on my birthday because my mate Dan, who's never allowed on the podcast because he's got zero filter, he's worse than me, jokingly said to one of my other mates, yeah, bring some cream soda. Dan wasn't even coming to the party because he was working. So this lad has turned up with this bottle of fucking cream soda for no reason. However, it came in very, very handy last night. So me and the Zero Alpha were drinking a bit of red wine, watching Fleabag. If you've seen that, how good is it? If you haven't, definitely watch it. It's amazing. Yeah, really funny. I'm not always the biggest fan of female comics. I'm not being sexist or misogynistic, big word, because usually their humour isn't that funny. But she was brilliant. That whole programme is brilliant, so I highly recommend that. So we drank that, and then it was about 10, half 10, something like that, and it was like, shall we? Bit of a James Brown there. If anyone served with James Brown on 15 Squadron and wherever he is now, did you? Yeah. So we got on it basically, just me and her. Sometimes the impromptu ones are the best, aren't they? So what we did was we put on the music channels, flicking through back like you used to do in the noughties. I hate that fucking saying, the noughties. But like back when you did in the noughties, you'd put on the music, MTV or whatever, MTV Bass, History, and you'd flick through, find some decent songs. Anyway, we were cutting about doing that, and then we were like, we're out of wine. What have we got? You check the fucking cupboards, don't you? We found some cherry gin. Nice. But we didn't have any mixer. We had no tonic. We didn't have any lemonade. We were like, fuck. What can we do? What can we use this for? And then it's like, pow. What we're going to do is we're going to get the cream soda. Now, troops, cream soda and cherry gin, Granite Zero approved. I got so fucking pissed. I was dancing in my living room like I don't know what. I was having a great time. Everything's shut down downstairs, but I was having a great time. I was rocking the fucking world. I was shit hot. In my head, I was Fred Astaire. I was fucking Justin Timberlake dancing around the living room. Feeling happy. And sometimes that's what you got to do. When you're stuck in this lockdown, you just got to get on with it, ain't you? Just got to get on with it, and that's me out of whiskey. You just got to get on with it and just take each day as it comes. And if you want to, get fucking pissed. Those of you that are being furloughed, whatever the fucking word is, and you're still getting paid your 80% of your wage and you're at home, make the most of it. Spend time with your family. If you've got a missus, husband, kids, whoever with you, make the most of it. Make memories. Do a little fucking time capsule. Do something like that. What I suggest you don't do is what my kids have been doing for fucking some of the days, day in and day out, and that's just being stuck on their phone, on YouTube, doing all that sort of stuff. They need to be experiencing life the best way they can, whether they're going out in the garden playing, whether they're playing with their toys, depending on how old they are. You know, they could be making, if they're older, they could be making plans for the future. What they're going to do when they finish school, what they're going to do when they finish college, what they're going to do at university, what courses they're going to do, what alley job are they going to do when they leave, are they going to go to join the military, are they going to do this, that or the other. And go back. Get your kids watching programs that you used to watch as a kid, movies that you find amazing, what they might find amazing, etc., etc. You know what I mean? And for example, I've been trying for ages to get the girls to watch Top Gun because I fucking love it. In the end, me and the missus ended up watching it, but I forgot how good it was. Yes, it's very homoerotic. Sure. Hanging, playing with the boys. Couldn't be more gay. But just a bit of nostalgia, innit? And you forget 80s movies are the best, and then 90s. I think Little Brown has been going through a stage of watching all the Adam Sandler movies with my niece, and she's loving it, you know. And the same at home. We watched Big Daddy the other day with the girls. My girls are 8 and 6. Jess is nearly 9. But they loved it. Jess was in bits crying. She's the most sensitive creature in the world. But she was crying over it because she was sad for the little kid. And she was laughing at bits where he said things like, I wipe my own ass. And the spelling bit with the hip hop anonymous. Damn you gave him the easy ones. You know, it's like, I remember when that came out, I was like 12 years old. Amazing. Just memory lane. And getting your kids to enjoy things that you enjoyed is always good. And yeah. I don't know how many people are actually watching kick businesses off. Or start businesses. Yeah, Veteran Trees. He knows the gen. But yeah, I was going to open it up to some like fan questions, as it were. Fans. I ain't got any fans. But I've got one viewer. So if you've got a question, hit it. If not, don't worry about it. I've enjoyed talking to myself for 40 minutes. Fantastic. Whether anyone's going to listen to this or watch this or whatever, that's another story. But, yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You know what I'm going to do? Oh. Right. You could take that either way, couldn't you? You're listening while playing with your wood. I'm glad I can be of service. Oh, but in those of you that can't see that bit that's on the YouTube version, that's from the alley bastard that is Veteran Trees. He's making me my sign because he's Ali. And yeah, he's not actually playing with his penis as wood. He's actually playing with wood, which is awesome. Oh dear. Yeah, so I was supposed to be starting this as a duo with Little Brown. Obviously, we all know he's off his face still, probably still napping. It was supposed to happen at 2. I spoke to him for about 5 minutes and then he disappeared. And apparently, my sister-in-law told me that he went for a nap. So I decided to go back to the old format. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to live stream it as well. I tried doing a live stream before and it went a bit shit. So I deleted it. So hopefully this one comes out all right. It seems all right. But again, who's going to sit there and watch it for 40 minutes? Of a weird fat man that can't grow a beard. But it is what it is. I've had a good time though. I've had a good time chatting to myself. But yeah, I highly recommend the documentary last night on ultra white collar boxing or ultra white collar events. How oversaturated they are. I spoke about that a lot. Also, check out on Netflix The Last Dance. Now, if you want to see a true winner and someone that can really motivate you beyond belief, it's that documentary, which is the Chicago Bulls final season with Michael Jordan. What a fucking player. What a team. It's going to be amazing. So check that out. I've been posting up things about that left, right and centre. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Fucking old Captain Moore. How fucking brilliant is he? How much did he raise? Like 21 million? Did I just make that up? Is it 21 million? Someone fucking bro science me. I can't